And the chance of beat LA started when the Clippers came out for their opening warm-ups. Paul George gets inside on the finish.
He's more active, more athletic, more nimble. A second shot and then a tip out already.
Paul George drills the jumper around after an emotional and tough series against Utah from Friday night to Sunday afternoon as Paul George drills that one. 4 on the 24. Paul George from long distance.
Oh, he's a big-time talent. I mean, that's not breaking news, but he is so skilled at handling the basketball and making plays.
The Toom and George play catch. George sets and fires. Paul George from downtown. 17 first-half points for Paul George by either team. Terance Mann connects. Terance Mann, he of the 39 points in Game 6.
Tattoo of it on his body, and he is marching towards those orders.
George trying to draw some contact. Tough shot, knocks it down. And Paul George has 19. Phoenix is shooting 63% for the game. Paul George starting to feel it. Nails another three. That's his 4th three-pointer. And it's back to a 3-point Phoenix lead. Zubac sets the screen. George wide open, drills another three. 25 points for Paul George. And we're tied again. Post-game, mid-range game. Excellent free throw shooter. Reggie Jackson answers with another three, and the Clippers regain the lead. Who had 16 consecutive points for his team. George, step back, three-pointer. Oh, Paul George does it again, and we're tied at 93. Suns, by the way, only 3 of their 16 field goal attempts are from 3. Paul George this time gets down low and banks it home. George stops. This time connects.
That's tremendous footwork.
Tip misses, gets the rebound, and gives him a new possession. George to Jackson. Jackson fake, sidestep three. That's good. Reggie Jackson with 7 points here in the opening shoot. George back up top to Mann. Fakes a pass, fires a three, and it's good. Terance Mann with 8 points off the bench. Dario Saric with 7 points, couple of assists in 6 minutes off the bench. A huge impact as Paul George gets inside. 2 for 9 from the field and 5 turnovers. 2 of those 2 offensive fouls. George drives in hard, layup is good. Beverly got the start, as did Zubac, as Tyronn Lue, you just joining us, changed up his starting lineup from game 1. Paul George creates some space and knocks it down. George throws it inside, and Zubac with the finish. 6 points for Zubac.
If he's on the floor, is versatile enough to defend multiple actions.
George to Morris. Morris likes that corner and nails the three-pointer. Rondo back in for Beverly. George on the drive, gets inside, layup is good. Paul George now with 14. KENNARD. Moore is on George. A little fake, drops it. Paul George now with 16. Hooker now defending George. It's right up into him. George drives, kicks it out. Beverly fakes, fires. Patrick Beverly with a three-pointer.
Bridges coming off the down screen of A.
Just his 2nd field goal. George looks to answer. That's good. Paul George drills his first three-pointer of the night. 14 rebounds. 14 on the shot clock. George, Zubac dribbles. His little jump hook is good. Shot clock at 6. Payne gets inside. Layup blocked by Zubac. George comes the other way. Here comes Paul George. Gets inside. Layup. He banks it home. And the Clippers take the lead. Timeout.
They took Ayton off the floor to downsize along with the Clippers. There'll be no shot blocking at the rim.
George, jumper. Got it. Paul George drills another.
Time he got the mid-range jumper.
This is the largest lead of the series by either team so far through the first 3+ games. As George knocks it down at 7.
I hear that. I'm sick of you, Mike.
George drives and finishes. Paul George with his second field goal. 26% from the field. They have not scored now in 6 minutes. George struggling with his dribble. Fires away and knocks up. That figures that that's the one that goes in.
Defending him, wanted the basketball back.
And I wonder if in the second half, Rondo, who has not played here in the first half, gets a look to try to give them some more energy.
Did you ever play with a mask?
No, I never went in the paint.
Zubac goes in the paint and slams that one down. Again, Booker, as Jeff mentioned, with those 3 fouls. Beverly in the corner. Beverly on the drive, gets inside, banks it home. First field goal, first points for Patrick Beverly.
And this was the unit in the third quarter the other night that played well.
George inside, Zubac gathers and finishes. 10 points, 10 boards for Zubac. The lead is cut to 8. That's his first shot without the mask. George looking to draw a foul, drills it. And this building has come alive. The lead is cut to 6. Kawhi Leonard going crazy. Jackson launches a 3. It's good! Reggie Jackson from downtown. Timeout Phoenix. It's a 5-point game. Booker guarding George. Paul George now with 18 points. Back to 3. Seeing his first minutes of the night defensively here for Phoenix. George throws it inside. MANN lays it up and in. Patrick Beverly, who loves and embraces his role as a villain on the road. Reggie Jackson knocks down the opening 3-pointer. Well, Paul and Booker, who have struggled shooting the past couple of games, this is their first shots. Beverly drives and finishes. Tough shot for Beverly. Gets inside. Pass deflected. Another steal. MANN to George. George to finish. Shot's good and 1. And a chance for a 3-point.
Quality looks on the post up against Sauer.
George having a tough time handling Cousins' size. DeMarcus Cousins, big impact. 8 points in his ability to shoot. And he says he's a terrific defender as well. Cousins once again. DeMarcus Cousins, 10 points already. Cameron Payne blocked by Beverly. KENNARD outlet to George. Nader in pursuit. A bump. Boy, it looked like George may have bumped. 10 big points from DeMarcus Cousins, who's currently on the bench right now. George off the dribble, drives, gets inside. Nice left-handed flip off the glass.
Man, plays with great tenacity.
Paul George at Bridges. Knocks it down. George now with 9 points. The lead for the Clippers back up.
Can you imagine Jeff staying at your house for 7 weeks, though?
I think it'd be quite pleasant. Paul George gets inside and banks it home. Paul George drives inside, stumbles a bit, can't finish. Crowder rips down the rebound. George to Bridges. Bridges, 3-pointer. Count it and the foul. The Suns thought he traveled. Instead, George got hit. Put it in, and a chance for a 3-point play. Paul George makes his move behind the back, pulls up jumper. It's good. Paul George now at 18.
Those were cash in the first 4 games.
George on the pull-up, nails a 3. Paul George answers, and it's back up to 9. Booker, one of the premier free throw shooters in the game, 93% in the series. George connects again. Paul George from downtown. George to Beverly. Beverly's going to try a 3-pointer. Patrick Beverly from downtown.
Such size on the floor. Torrey Craig, who didn't play last game, playing tonight as Paul George rolling here in the third.
Clippers up by 8, final minute, third quarter. George 3-pointer, puts it in. Paul George exploding here in the third period. He's got 20, and the lead back up to 11. He's played is 7 of 14 here tonight. George drives past Craig, goes inside, lays it up and in.
And Torrey Craig's really getting up into it.
George drives, stops, leans in, bank shot is good. Paul George with 35. Beverly back into the hands of George. Jackson long three. Puts it in. Reggie Jackson. Back-to-back threes here in the fourth. It's back to a 10-point game. Back to Rachel. George against Mikal Bridges. Brings it back out. George over Bridges. Another. Paul George, and this is the largest lead of the night. A 16-point advantage. Chris Paul, well defended again by Beverly. He has just been spectacular defensively. George the drive and the finish. George drives on Booker. His shot bounces around. Nice soft touch. George against Booker. Spins. Nice feed inside. Nick Batum, who just entered the game, banks it home. Terrence Mann, good look. That won't go. Batum keeps it alive and a new 14 on the shot clock. This time George inside, banks it home.
Let's go for the knockout punch right now, offensively and defensively.
There's two other teams that tried to do that here in these playoffs and were unsuccessful as Paul George knocks it in. 5 on the 24. Now Paul's on him. George looks, drives, double team, kicks it out. Morris for three. That's good as the shot clock expires.
It's made because of the pace in which Devin Booker comes off of that screen. You can't catch up and get back into the picture.
Paul George, pull-up jumper, got it.
Paul is rolling right now.
Still 5.5 remaining. Paul George, jump shot is good.